While the world chases excitement, celebrates noise, and worships complexity, a quiet minority is building something the majority will never understand until it's too late. These aren't secrets. They're simply disciplines so ordinary, so unglamorous, that most people dismiss them entirely. And that dismissal, that's precisely what creates the gap between those who succeed and those who wonder why they didn't. Good morning. I want to talk with you today about something that won't make headlines. It won't trend. It won't get applause at parties or likes on social media. In fact, if you do what I'm about to suggest, most people won't notice, at least not at first. But 6 months from now, a year from now, you'll be living in a different world. Not because the world changed, but because you did. The topic is this 10 simple, boring habits. Habits so ordinary that sharing them feels almost embarrassing. Yet I'll tell you something I've learned after decades of studying success, observing people, and asking that eternal question, why do some succeed while others fail? Here it is: the difference between success and failure is not found in the spectacular. It's found in the monotonous, the mundane, the things we do when no one is watching and no one is cheering. Now let me give you these 10 habits. I'll be brief. Because you don't need my philosophy, you need action. But I will tell you this: guard them carefully. Don't announce them. Don't broadcast your new routine to the world. Because there's something powerful about quiet commitment, about private discipline. The world respects results, not intentions. Habit 1: rise before the world expects you. Get up early, not to impress anyone, not to post about it, but to claim time that belongs entirely to you, before the demands, the notifications, the noise. In that silence, you'll find clarity. In that solitude, you'll find strength. The early morning is where the future is written. Habit 2: read for 30 minutes, not the news, not gossip, not the endless scroll of other people's opinions. Read something that challenges you, that stretches your mind, that plants seeds for growth. 30 minutes a day equals 200 hours a year. That's a university education every single year delivered to you in the quiet of your own home. Habit 3: move your body daily. Walk, stretch, lift, move. Your body is the vehicle that carries your mind through this life. Neglect it and everything else suffers. Tend to it and you'll find energy, confidence, and resilience you forgot you had. Habit 4: write down 3 priorities. Every evening before you sleep, write down the 3 most important things you must accomplish tomorrow. Not 10, not 20, 3. This simple act transforms chaos into clarity. You'll wake with purpose instead of panic. Habit 5: eliminate 1 distraction. Identify the 1 habit, the 1 activity, the 1 relationship that drains you without giving back, and remove it. Not next month. This week. You cannot add good things to a life that's already overflowing with the unnecessary. Habit 6: practice gratitude in writing. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not in your head, on paper. This isn't sentimentality. This is reprogramming. You become what you focus on, and gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to appreciation. Habit 7: honor your word to yourself. If you say you'll do something, do it. Especially the small things. Especially when it doesn't matter to anyone else. Self-trust is built in private moments. Break your word to yourself repeatedly, and you'll find yourself paralyzed by doubt and indecision. Habit 8: invest in skill, not comfort. Dedicate time each week to learning something that increases your value to the marketplace, to your family, to yourself. A new skill, a deeper understanding. Growth is uncomfortable, but stagnation is fatal. Habit 9: protect your evening routine. The last hour before sleep sets the tone for tomorrow. Turn off the screens. Avoid the arguments. Read something peaceful. Reflect. Rest deliberately. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a foundation. Habit 10: measure what matters. Once a week, review your progress. Not to judge yourself harshly, but to course correct. Are you becoming who you intended to become? Are your actions aligned with your aims? Awareness is the beginning of change. Success is boring by design. You know, I've noticed something troubling over the years. Walk into any bookstore, turn on any program, listen to any so-called expert, and you'll hear the same promised transformation in 7 days, breakthrough in 3 steps, revolutionary results with this one simple trick, and people believe it. They chase it. They spend their money on it, their time on it, their hope on it. They're looking for the shortcut, the secret, the hidden key that will suddenly make everything fall into place. And here's what happens: nothing. Or worse, they get excited for a week, maybe 2. Then the excitement fades, the routine gets hard, and they're right back where they started. Only now they're more discouraged than before, convinced that success must be for other people, people with special talents or lucky breaks they'll never have. I want you to sit with that for a moment. Really think about it. How many times have you started something with tremendous enthusiasm, only to abandon it when the novelty wore off? How many programs, how many plans, how many promises made to yourself have you let slip away? Now, here's what nobody wants to tell you, because it doesn't sell seminars or fill stadiums or go viral on the internet. The extraordinary life, the one you dream about, the one you see other people living, isn't built from extraordinary moments. It's built from ordinary actions. Actions so simple, so unglamorous, so boring that most people dismiss them entirely. Think about it this way. What does a successful writer do? They write every day, whether they feel inspired or not, whether anyone's reading or not. They sit down and they put words on paper. Day after day after day. There's no drama in that, no excitement, just consistency. What does a wealthy person do? They save before they spend. They invest regularly. They live below their means. They make small, smart financial decisions every single day for years and years. There's no glamour in that, no story worth telling at a dinner party. Just discipline. What does a healthy person do? They move their body. They choose the apple over the candy bar. They go to bed at a reasonable hour. They drink water instead of soda. Not sometimes. Not when they feel motivated. Every day. Boring, absolutely. Effective, without question. You see, success isn't designed to be exciting. It's designed to be repeatable. And the only things we can repeat, day in and day out, year after year, are simple things, boring things. Things that don't require superhuman effort or exceptional circumstances. The problem isn't that people don't know what to do. The problem is they're waiting for it to feel significant. They're waiting for it to feel worthy of the life they want to build. And so they overlook the very actions that would build it. But here's the beautiful truth, and I mean this with every fiber of my being. When you accept that success is boring, when you make peace with the monotony, when you stop waiting for inspiration and simply show up, something shifts. You stop being a person who wants to succeed. You become a person who is succeeding, not because something magical happened, but because you're doing the work. The boring, simple, unglamorous work that compounds over time into something extraordinary. The life you want isn't on the other side of excitement. It's on the other side of consistency. And consistency, that's the most boring and most powerful thing you'll ever embrace. Silence is your competitive advantage. You've felt it, haven't you? That surge of energy when you decide to change your life. When you finally commit to losing the weight, building the business, writing the book, becoming the person you know you're capable of being. And what's the first thing you want to do? You want to tell someone. You want to announce it. Post it. Share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. You want them to know that this time is different, that you're serious, that great things are coming. And I understand that impulse. I truly do. There's something deeply human about wanting others to witness our transformation, to be part of our journey. We think that telling people will create accountability, that their expectations will keep us on track when our own motivation wanes. So you announce your plans, and you know what happens. People respond. Some encourage you, at least at first. Others are skeptical. They've seen you start things before. Some, whether they realize it or not, feel threatened by your decision to change, because it holds up a mirror to their own inaction. And suddenly, without even beginning, you're managing other people's opinions, defending your choices, justifying your dreams. The energy you needed for the work itself, you've already spent it on the announcement. Now, let me ask you to consider something. Think about the most successful people you've ever known personally. Not the celebrities, not the ones who live in public view by profession. I mean the people in your actual life who have genuinely succeeded, who have built something meaningful, who have transformed themselves. Did they announce it? Did they broadcast every step? Did they hold press conferences about their morning routines? Or did they simply disappear for a while? Did they go quiet? Did they stop showing up to every social gathering, stop posting every thought, stop seeking approval for every decision? And then one day you saw them again and everything was different. They'd done it. Whatever was, they'd actually done it. Here's what I've learned: there is tremendous power in silence. Not secrecy. I'm not suggesting you lie or hide. But quiet, focused action that doesn't require an audience. When you keep your goals to yourself, something remarkable happens. First, you eliminate the drain of other people's doubts and opinions. You're not carrying their skepticism along with your own challenges. You're not defending your vision when you should be building it. Second, you preserve your energy. Every time you talk about what you're going to do, your brain releases a small reward. It feels good to talk about your plans. So good, in fact, that studies have shown that merely talking about your goals can give you the satisfaction of having achieved them without doing any of the actual work. You get the emotional payoff without the effort. Third, you create space for genuine transformation. Real change is messy. You'll stumble. You'll adjust. You'll learn that what you thought you wanted isn't quite right, and you'll course correct. When you're doing all of this in public, every adjustment feels like failure. Every pivot feels like you're letting people down. But in silence, you have the freedom to figure it out. And here's the beautiful part: when you finally do succeed, when you've actually built the business, lost the weight, written the book, become that person, you won't need to announce it. People will see it. They'll ask you about it. They'll want to know your secret. And you can smile knowing that the secret was simple all along. You stopped talking and started doing. You let your results speak while your discipline stayed silent. That's not just a strategy, that's wisdom. And it's yours for the taking right now, if you choose it. Small disciplines compound invisibly. Let me tell you what keeps most people trapped in lives they don't want. It's not laziness. It's not lack of intelligence. It's not even lack of opportunity. It's this: they look at where they are today, and they look at where they want to be, and the distance between those 2 points seems impossibly vast. So vast that any action they might take today feels meaningless, pointless, like throwing a pebble at a mountain and expecting it to move. So they don't throw the pebble, they wait. They wait for the big break, the perfect moment, the grand opportunity that will close that gap in one dramatic leap. And while they're waiting, they tell themselves that the small things don't matter. That reading for 15 minutes won't make them educated. That saving $10 won't make them wealthy. That one workout won't make them healthy. And they're right. It won't, not today. And that's precisely what paralyzes them. They can see that today's small action produces no visible result, so they dismiss it. They abandon it. They go back to waiting for something significant enough to match the size of their dreams. But let me tell you something. Stop for just a moment and think about this carefully. A penny doubled every day for 30 days. On day 1, you have a penny. On day 5, you have 16 cents. On day 10, you have just over $5. And even on day 20, you're sitting there with only $5,000. If you quit on day 20 because it doesn't seem like enough, because the progress feels too slow, you'd miss something extraordinary. Because on day 30, you'd have over $5 million. That's not magic. That's mathematics. That's the power of compound growth. And it doesn't just apply to money, it applies to everything. Here's what actually happens in the real world, in your life, with your daily choices. When you read for 15 minutes today, nothing changes. When you read for 15 minutes every day for a year, you've consumed 20 or 30 books. Your mind has expanded. Your vocabulary has grown. Your understanding of the world has deepened. You're literally not the same person you were a year ago. When you put $10 into savings today, nothing changes. When you put $10 into savings every week for 20 years, you have built wealth. Not because of one grand gesture, but because of thousands of tiny, boring, unremarkable deposits that accumulated while you weren't watching. When you choose the salad over the burger today, your body doesn't transform. When you make that choice most days for 6 months, your health has changed. Your energy has increased. Your confidence has grown. The compound effect has worked its quiet magic. You see, small disciplines don't fail because they're ineffective. They fail because they're invisible. The results are happening right now as you practice them, but they're happening beneath the surface, beyond your immediate perception. And we live in a world that's trained us to expect instant feedback, immediate gratification, visible proof that our efforts matter. So here's what I need you to understand, and I mean this with complete conviction. The most powerful forces in the universe work silently. A seed buried in soil doesn't announce its growth. Compound interest doesn't send you daily updates. The habits you're building right now are shaping the person you're becoming. Even though you can't see it yet, your job isn't to see the results today. Your job is to trust the process, to honor the discipline, to show up for the small, boring actions that seem insignificant. Because 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, you'll look back and realize that everything changed. Not in one moment. In 1,000 small moments you barely noticed. That's not just hope. That's how transformation actually works. And it's working for you right now, whether you can see it or not. The crowd runs from boredom, the wise run toward it. Watch people closely, and you'll notice something. They're running. Always running. From one thing to the next, one trend to another, one excitement to the next thrill. They chase the new app, the new system, the new guru promising rapid transformation. They jump from diet to diet, business idea to business idea, relationship to relationship. Always searching, always moving, never staying. And if you ask them why they left the last thing, why they abandoned what they started just weeks or months ago, they'll tell you the same thing in different words. It got boring. It wasn't exciting anymore. I lost interest. And society celebrates this. We call it being dynamic, being adaptable, being open to new experiences. We've built an entire culture around the pursuit of excitement, the worship of novelty, the addiction to stimulation. But here's what nobody tells you. While everyone's racing toward the next shiny object, they're racing away from the very thing that would set them free. They're running from the boredom. And in doing so, they're running from mastery, from depth, from excellence, from success itself. You look around and see people 5 years into adulthood still searching for their passion, still trying to find themselves, still waiting for something to hold their interest. And you wonder, could that be me? Am I falling behind because I'm committed to something that feels ordinary? Now let me give you a different way to see this, a truer way. Think about anyone who's ever achieved true mastery at anything: a concert pianist, a master craftsman, a successful entrepreneur, an exceptional parent, a renowned surgeon. Ask them about their journey, and here's what you'll discover: they did the same thing over and over and over again. Scales on the piano, the same woodworking techniques, the same business fundamentals, the same bedtime routines, the same procedures, for years, for decades. And yes, there were moments of breakthrough, moments of insight, moments that felt transcendent. But those moments, those rare, beautiful moments, were built on a foundation of thousands upon thousands of boring repetitions. The crowd sees the concert and applauds the performance. They don't see the 10,000 hours in a practice room, playing the same scales, the same passages, until fingers bled, and then collaged and then moved with effortless precision. The crowd sees the successful business and assumes luck or genius. They don't see the daily discipline, the same morning routine, the same sales calls, the same systems refined incrementally over years of monotonous consistency. Here's the truth: boredom is the price of admission to mastery. It's not a bug in the system, it's a feature. It's the filtering mechanism that separates those who will succeed from those who will always wonder why they didn't. Because here's what happens when you embrace boredom, when you run toward it instead of away from it. First, you eliminate competition. 95% of people will quit the moment the excitement fades. They'll move on to something new, something that promises that fresh burst of enthusiasm. When you stay, when you push through the tedious middle, the unglamorous grind, you're suddenly competing with only the 5% who understand what you understand. Second, you build something real. Depth beats breadth every single time. The person who spent 10 years mastering one craft will always outperform the person who spent 1 year on 10 different things. Always. Third, you discover something magical. Boredom transforms. What once felt tedious becomes meditative. What once felt monotonous becomes meaningful. You stop needing external stimulation because you've found internal purpose. The work itself becomes the reward. So when you're tempted to quit because it's gotten boring, when the routine feels stale, when the excitement has worn off and you're left with just the work, just the same simple actions day after day, I want you to recognize that feeling for what it truly is. It's not a signal that you're on the wrong path. It's a signal that you're on the exact right path. It's the moment where amateurs turn back and professionals push forward. The crowd will keep running, keep chasing, keep searching for something that doesn't require them to be bored. Let them run. You stay. You commit. You embrace the monotony. Because on the other side of boredom lies everything you've ever wanted. And you'll have it all to yourself, because almost nobody else was willing to stay long enough to find it. Your daily routine is your destiny. I want you to think about tomorrow. Not next year, not your 5-year plan, just tomorrow. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, what will you do? Really, what will you actually do? You'll probably do what you did today. Wake at roughly the same time. Follow the same morning sequence. Eat similar foods. Take the same route. Check the same apps. Have the same conversations. Feel the same frustrations. Make the same excuses. And when your head hits the pillow tomorrow night, you'll be essentially the same person you are right now. And the day after that, the same. And the week after. The same month after month, year after year. The same basic pattern repeating itself. Now project that forward. If you keep living the same day over and over, where will you be in 5 years? 10 years? At the end of your life? And here's the troubling part, you already know the answer. Deep down you can see it. You can see exactly where this current path leads. And if you're honest with yourself, truly honest, it might not be where you want to go. That's an uncomfortable realization, isn't it? That the life you're living right now, this very day, is creating the life you'll be living a decade from now. But stay with me, because there's something important you need to understand about this. Your destiny isn't written in the stars. It's not determined by your circumstances, your upbringing, or your past mistakes. It's not locked in by fate or chance or the universe's grand design. Your destiny is written in your daily routine. Let me say that again, because it's the most important thing I'll tell you today. Your daily routine is your destiny. Show me how you spend your morning, and I'll tell you how successful you'll be. Show me what you do with your free hour in the evening, and I'll tell you what kind of person you're becoming. Show me your habits, the small, unremarkable things you do when nobody's watching, and I'll show you your future with absolute certainty. This isn't mysticism. This is mathematics. If you read for 30 minutes every day, in 10 years you'll have read for over 1,800 hours. That's enough to make you an expert in any field you choose. If you save $50 a week, in 20 years you'll have over $50,000, not counting interest. If you exercise for 20 minutes each morning, in 5 years your health will be transformed. And it works in reverse too. If you waste 2 hours every evening scrolling mindlessly, in 10 years you've lost over 7,000 hours, an entire year of your waking life gone. If you skip breakfast and grab fast food for lunch every day, in 5 years your health will show it. If you consistently go to bed angry or stressed, in a decade you'll have trained your mind to live in that state. Here's the beautiful truth that changes everything. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You don't need a dramatic transformation or a complete reinvention. You don't need to become a different person by next week. You just need to adjust your routine. Slightly, deliberately, consistently. Wake up 30 minutes earlier, and you've just added 180 hours to your year, time that belongs entirely to you, before the world makes its demands. Replace 1 hour of television with 1 hour of learning, and you've just enrolled yourself in a private university that runs every single night. Swap one unhealthy habit for one healthy choice, and you've just altered the trajectory of your physical life. Small changes in your routine create massive changes in your destiny. Not someday, not in theory, mathematically, inevitably. The person you'll be 5 years from now is being created by the routine you're following today, right now. This very moment. So here's what I want you to do. Not as homework, not as theory, but as something real. Look at your current routine with clear eyes. Write it down if you need to. Be honest about how you actually spend your time, not how you wish you spent it or how you tell others you spend it. Then ask yourself, if I keep doing exactly this every day for the next 5 years, will I be proud of who I become? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right path. Keep going. If the answer is no, and for most people it is, then you have just discovered the most powerful truth of your life. You can change it. Today. Right now. Your routine is not your prison. It's your blueprint, and you're holding the pen. Draw a better future, one boring, beautiful day at a time. Results speak when discipline is silent. You've seen them. Maybe you've even been one of them. The person who announces their new goal with great fanfare. The New Year's resolution posted on social media. The business launch with the flashy logo and website. The transformation journey documented in real time for all to see. Day 1, this is it. Finally doing it. Day still going strong. Day 14 had a setback, but I'm committed. And then, silence. The posts stop. The updates disappear. The goal quietly fades into the background with all the other abandoned promises. 6 months later, you see them again. Nothing's changed. The weight is still there. The business never materialized. The transformation never happened. And when you ask about it gently, carefully, they have their reasons. Life got busy. Circumstances changed. It wasn't the right time. And you start to wonder, is that what happens to everyone who tries? Is change actually possible? Or is it just something we talk about to make ourselves feel better? When you set your own goals, when you decide to transform your own life, are you just setting yourself up for another public failure? Now, let me tell you about a different kind of person. Someone you probably know, though you might not have noticed them at first. They didn't announce anything. No grand declarations. No social media countdown. No asking friends to hold them accountable. They just started, quietly, privately. While everyone else was making noise, they were making progress. Maybe they started waking up early. Maybe they started reading. Maybe they started saving money or exercising or learning a new skill. But they didn't tell you about it. They didn't tell anyone about it. Weeks went by. Months. You'd see them occasionally, and something seemed different. But you couldn't quite put your finger on it. They seemed calmer, more focused, more present. But they never mentioned what they were doing. Never sought praise. Never asked for validation. And then one day, 6 months later, a year later, you see them again, and the transformation is undeniable. They've lost the weight. They've built the business. They've written the book. They've become someone new. And when you ask them, amazed, how did you do it? When did this happen? They smile and give you the simplest answer. I just started doing the work. Here's what that second person understands that the first person doesn't. Announcements dilute commitment. Every time you declare what you're going to do, you receive a small reward, attention, encouragement, acknowledgement. Your brain registers that reward as if you'd actually accomplished something. The motivation that should have fueled your action gets spent on the announcement itself. But more than that, public commitment creates public pressure. Now you're not just working toward your goal, you're managing other people's expectations. You're defending your methods. You're explaining your setbacks. You're performing your transformation instead of living it. And performance is exhausting. Performance requires an audience. Performance demands constant updates, constant proof, constant validation. True transformation requires none of that. True transformation happens in private. In the early morning when no one's awake. In the quiet evening when no one's watching. In the small daily disciplines that no one sees and no one celebrates. The person who succeeds in silence understands something profound. Their discipline doesn't need witnesses. It needs consistency. And here's the beautiful part, the part that makes all the quiet work worthwhile. Results don't need to be announced. They announce themselves. When you've actually lost the weight, people see it. When you've actually built the business, people know it. When you've actually transformed your life, people feel it in your presence. You don't need to tell them. You don't need to prove it. You don't need to document every step of the journey. You just show up as the new version of yourself, and the results speak louder than any announcement ever could. There's a dignity in that, a power in that. While everyone else is talking about what they're going to do, you're already doing it. While they're seeking approval, you're seeking progress. While they're broadcasting their intentions, you're building your future. So when you set your goals for this year, and I hope you do, I hope you set ambitious, meaningful goals, I want you to consider keeping them to yourself. Not because you're ashamed of them, not because you don't believe in them, but because you respect them too much to turn them into content. You value them too much to trade them for likes and comments. Do the work, in private, in silence, with discipline that needs no audience and seeks no applause. And when the work is done, when the transformation is complete, when you've become the person you set out to become, let that be the announcement. Let your results do the talking. Let your life be the testimony. Because the world doesn't remember what you said you'd do. It only remembers what you actually did. And that, my friend, is the only announcement that truly matters. Now, you might be thinking, Earl, these are simple. I already know these things. And you'd be right. But knowing and doing are separated by the widest chasm in human experience. These habits require nothing but consistency. And consistency, true, boring, unglamorous consistency, is the rarest commodity on earth. Here's the truth that most people never accept: we become what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. That's Aristotle. And it's as true today as it was 2,000 years ago. The life you want, the success you dream about, the peace you long for, it's not out there waiting to be discovered. It's right here waiting to be built. One boring day at a time. One simple habit at a time. And here's why I say, don't tell anyone about the results. Because the world is full of talkers, full of planners, full of people who announce grand visions and never take the first step. When you stay quiet, when you simply do the work, something magical happens. Your results begin to speak for you. People notice. They ask, what changed? What's different about you? And you smile because you know. You know it wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it was discipline. It was the boring habits no one celebrates. Let them wonder. Let your transformation be the testimony. Now, I want to leave you with this thought. You're standing at the beginning of a new year. 2026 stretches out before you like an unwritten book. What will you fill those pages with? More of the same? More drifting, more distraction, more unfulfilled intentions? Or will this be the year you finally understand that success isn't a lightning bolt, it's a sunrise? Slow, steady, inevitable. The choice, as always, is yours. But remember, the world won't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you work for. And work, real work, is often quiet, unglamorous, and profoundly boring. That's the price. And it's worth every single moment.